All right, welcome to the Huddle with Jordan.
And Ethan.
We're going to go over some of the biggest sports stories that's happened within this past week. And we're going to go ahead and start it off with college football.
Well, it's been a big week, Jordan. I guess we'll start off news from today with Chris Peterson is heading to Washington.
I think it's a bad choice by Peterson. Washington has only 52 wins in the past 10 years. That's, an average of 5 wins a year. They went 8-4 this year. That's a good solid season in college football. They went 5-4 in their conference. They had 0 wins just a few years ago. This is definitely on the decline. They haven't won a conference title in 14 years, and they haven't won a national title in 23. Maybe they think Peterson is the guy that can turn it around.
Maybe. He was 92-12 at Boise State, and he was always known at Boise for all his trick plays, and it would always go back to them upsetting Oklahoma in the BCS game.
I just think he would have been a better fit at USC, or if he would have just waited out and saw what Texas was going to do with Mac Brown, or maybe what Florida was going to do with Muschamp. I just don't see Washington being a smart job for him to take at this point right now.
It's understandable, but with his resume, and he's a winner, and to do what he did at Boise State is incredible. Everybody always used to give him trash about not being a BCS conference and maybe not playing as much tough opponents as other teams play. But it is still Division I, and to do what he did is just remarkable. And I'm not taking nothing away from Coach Peterson, but he will struggle at first at Washington because of the much tougher opponents. But I think after a while, he will become, a coach there like he was at Boise.
It's very possible with Peterson. Peterson's a great coach, and anything's possible when he's in charge of your football program.
I guess we'll go to the coach of the year now, and David Cutcliffe. And it's kind of hard for me to say that, because he used to be the offense coordinator at the University of Tennessee. But best wishes to Coach Cutcliffe. And what he's done at Duke is amazing this year. 10-2, and about ready to play Florida State in the ACC Championship.
Turn that program around.
Do you think he's deserved of, the coach of the year?
I'm not going to take anything away from Cutcliffe because what he's done is outstanding and remarkable at Duke. A program that's, not to be rude, but it's just not used to winning, for football. But I don't think he should have been the winner. He's a great runner-up, but I think Gus Malzahn should have won Coach of the Year. He posted an 11-1 record, 7-1 in the SEC. He had wins over Texas A&M, Alabama. His only loss came to LSU, and that was in Death Valley. But I just think Gus Malzahn should have won the award over David Cutcliffe.
It's understandable, great season that him and Auburn had, and, still have a chance to go to the BCS National Championship, and best of luck this week. There's a lot of important games this weekend.
There's quite a few. A lot that will determine conference champions.
And who might go to the national championship, and it's kind of scary, because the last 7 years, the SC has owned the national championship, and it's possible that they might not even make it this year. But I guess we'll go to the Big 12. Number 17, Oklahoma, takes on number 6, Oklahoma State. Who do you think's going to win this game?
Oklahoma State's had a great year. They've had a great run. I like what Mike Gundy's done with that program. He's definitely bolted it to the very top of the college football atmosphere. But I see Oklahoma winning this game 41-31, taking down the rival.
I'm going to have to go Oklahoma State in this game. What they did against Baylor, is absolutely phenomenal. They shut down the number 1 ranked offense in the nation. And
completely shut them down, only allowed 17 points.
you know, they only have one loss on the year, and that was at the beginning of the year to West Virginia, and
A close loss.
a close loss.
But
and
a loss nevertheless.
But I'm going to have to go Oklahoma State in this game. I guess we'll go with the Baylor-Texas game, with Baylor having Bryce Petty, you know, and that high-flying Bears offense, you know, just announced that he's coming back for his senior season. He thinks he's going to win this game.
Baylor, they've scored 70 points 4 times this year. But what Mac Brown has done to turn the season around in Texas is remarkable. I could easily go either way in this game, but I'm going to have to say that Baylor offense is just too much for that. I would say below average Texas defense, and I'm going to say Baylor wins in a shootout though, 42-32.
You know, I love what the Baylor has done this year, and I'm an offensive guy, and it's amazing to score that many points in a game. But even though Baylor beat Oklahoma, they did lose when they were ranked number 4 to Oklahoma State, and that kind of scares me because they was shut down. And as good as Texas has been playing, I believe they pull the upset in this game.
I could very well see that, but you know I'm gonna have to go with Baylor.
Now to the Pac-12 with number 7 Stanford and number 11 Arizona State.
Arizona State's flown under the radar quite a bit this year. They vaulted up to number 11, but to me I think they're kind of overrated. I'm gonna have to say Stanford wins this one with their hard-nosed ground game, 31-17.
You know, with Stanford, they don't have just one running back or even 2. They have 3 running backs who will just absolutely pound the ball. I'm going to have to take Stanford in this game over Arizona State. Ohio State, what a streak. Impressive. You know, we'll probably never see it again in college football.
Probably not, but I don't think it's going to end. I think it's going to continue. I just think with that ground game with Braxton Miller and Carlos Hyde, Michigan State has a good defense, don't get me wrong, but I think it'll be a close game in, you know, the first half, 3 quarters. But I just see that Ohio State ground game wearing down that defense, and then Ohio State starts breaking big plays. And I think they win this ball game 34-20 and go on to play in the national title.
You know, I watched the last week's game with Ohio State and Michigan, and I see them play that game, and a lot of stuff could have went differently. Yes, it's a high game because of the rivalry, and that maybe that played a factor in it. But I really do like Michigan State's defense, and I do believe that the streak will end this weekend with Michigan State knocking off number 2 Ohio State. ACC, we're going back to Duke. Plays number 1 Florida State.
This is probably the most lopsided conference championship game that we can remember as of recently, but you know, Florida State's favored by 29. I'm going to give them a little bit more cushion. Congrats to Duke on the great year, but Florida State is on a roll, and they're going to keep rolling. I'm going to say Florida State by 35. They win this ball game 45-10, no problem.
Greatest upset of the century. Number 20 Duke will knock off number 1 Florida State for the ACC Championship.
Bold prediction.
SEC, like I've said, has dominated the BCS ball game, or championship, I'm sorry, for 7 years. I believe it's going to be 8. Number 5, Missouri, takes on number 3, Auburn. Who thinks going to win this game?
Auburn is on a roll, just taking down number 1 Alabama in the way that they did. They've got all the hype, they've got all the confidence that you need to go into a big game and win. I think Missouri's underlooked, and I think Missouri's going to cause Auburn a lot of problems. but I just don't think you can stop that Auburn running attack. And I'm going to say Auburn wins this ball game by 6. I'm going to say it's 34-28 and another great game by Auburn.
I can agree with that. They're on a roll. Luck played a little bit of a role in last week's game, not taking anything away from Auburn.
Also against Georgia.
And against Georgia, you know. But I'll have to go Auburn in this game. Missouri's a great team, but I don't see him being able to stop Marshall on that offense. What do you think about the national championship? Who do you think's going to be playing in it?
My national title game pick, I'm going to say Florida State and Ohio State is going to play in the national championship game. I'm going to say Ohio State wins this one in probably one of the best national championship games we are ever going to witness. I think these are the two best teams in the country going head-to-head, two great quarterbacks, two great run games. I'm going to say Ohio State wins this ball game 31-30, and Urban Meyer gets another national championship.
I'm going to go really bold here. And, you know, me and you have had some discussion over the last couple of days about it. But I believe Florida State falls to Duke. I believe Ohio State falls to Michigan State. And I believe Auburn takes care of Missouri. I believe it's going to be a rematch, the Iron Bowl. I think Alabama will get another chance versus Auburn, and I think they'll end up knocking them off. I'm going to have to go I'm going to have to go Alabama over Auburn in the BCS National Championship.
Very well could happen. We just never know in college football. All right, we're going to switch sports. We're going to go to the NBA, where rumors are coming out of South Beach that the Heat are looking to trade the face of their franchise, Dwayne Wade, who led them to their first title ever. He has 3 titles in his career. He's averaging nearly 25 points a game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. You could say he's on the decline. You know, last year in the playoffs, he only averaged 16 points a game. And this season, he's only averaging 18 and 5 assists and 4 rebounds. But the chemistry on that team, he's the face of the franchise. Him and LeBron running the oops, the full court passes, the flashy plays. You can't replace that. And I don't see them moving Wade. What do you have to think about this?
If they move Wade, it's the worst decision that the Miami Heat could ever make. To do what Wade has done, from becoming the face, from being the face of the franchise, you know, to being the LeBron of the team, you know, like, to taking a lesser role by Boss showing, and then of course LeBron showing up. That's just remarkable to me. An athlete of his caliber should not have to take a lesser role, but for him to be able to share his team with 2 other superstars was just something that, you know, us as fans will never be able to understand. But if they trade Wade, the Miami Heat will never be the same. It won't be the Miami Heat anymore. So
I think they'll still be championship contenders, but I think it'll take Miami down a notch or 2.
It would take somebody, honestly, for Miami, if they traded Wade, it would take somebody really remarkable to come back in and try to fill the spot the way, you know, because it might not necessarily be the points or the rebounds, but the leadership, the commitment, the captain of a team like he is. You can't replace that with stats.
Can't at all.
And it's not a very smart move by the Miami Heat. But
well, another superstar guard is making his return Sunday. Kobe Bryant has decided he will play against the Toronto Raptors, making a season debut with the Lakers. Lakers fans, you know, I'm sure you're excited. You know, you're thinking you're on another title run. you're sure of his effect that'll have on the team will be positive. But the defense without Kobe is only giving up 103 points a game, but with Kobe they give up 108. The assist percentage each play goes from 66% to 56% with Kobe, and they're an above 500 team without Kobe. Do you think the Lakers have what it takes, and do you think Kobe has what it takes for another title run?
Not this year, because the injury that Kobe Bryant suffered was a devastating one, not only to your body, but your emotions and, your love for the game. And Kobe's a very strong player. He's one of the greatest NBA players to ever play the game. But I think he's coming back way too early. You're looking at anywhere from 12 months to 14 months of recovery, and I think he's doing it in 8. And then for him to do that and then come back as an NBA athlete, that's what's remarkable to me. But at first, I do not believe that he will make the impact that he usually does.
I think Kobe will make a positive impact on the Lakers team, but I just don't see Kobe being who Kobe used to be, and I just can't see them being a championship contender and making another run while he's there.
Well, I guess we'll go back to football, but this time in the NFL. Big news come from the NFL today. Texans fire Coach Gary Kubiak after 7 years as the head coach. What do you think about that? Good move, bad
I
move?
think it's a good move on the Texans organization part. Things were going downhill. They had lost 11 straight. They have a good team, which only leads you to believe that the coaching was the problem. I do believe there's going to be more coaches that will be fired or let go from Houston. They got a good core. They got Arian Foster, Andre Johnson. They got J.J. Watt, Brian Cushing. They've got a good team to win games, but I just think Kubiak was not the guy for the Texans.
Before this season, Gary Kubiak was 59-53. No, that's barely over 500. And that's really not a very good record. But he did bring 2 AFC South championships to the team. And a 2-2 playoff record. He took the Texans to their very first playoff, and then ultimately their very first victory. And to me, it was a bad decision to let him go because everybody deserves a second chance, and it was just an off year. And yes, they did drop 11 straight, but they're going to continue on to lose this year. They lost with Wade Phillips as an intern head coach, which he is again. So, was it the smartest decision right now? No. But you are right. I do predict more changes to come later in the franchise this year. But who knows? What about them Packer fans, man? What?
I think
about
they're worried about Aaron Rodgers and everything, but I just think there's a little bit more going on than what we know. I think Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback for that franchise for years to come, but I can't see him playing anymore this year. So Packers fans, I think you're going to have to look forward to next year. I don't see you making the playoffs, and I don't see Rodgers playing anymore this year.
I believe that he will come back this year, but I think by that time he's too far gone. You guys, I'm sure you guys already heard that he is out again this week. There's not a lot of hope for this season, and I'm sorry to say that as a football fan, but you do have a great quarterback within your franchise, and everybody deals with setbacks, and I think that he's strong enough and wise enough to be able to come back from an injury like this and make a great impact next season. So, is it safe to say that their season's over with? Is it done?
I say their season's over with. I think they might just see what number pick they can get in the draft and go from there. See if they can add another good player.
What do you think they would go for?
I think they need help at receiver. I think the defense is good. They got the quarterback. You know, they have Eddie Lacy. I could see them picking up a receiver, or if something changes and a running back does good at the combine. But I think they need help at receiver.
Pretty good prediction. Tim. News come out today that he gets offered a 4-month contract to play for an Italian league. Should he go? Should he stay?
I think the love of the game is keeping his decision open, but I don't think he'll go. I mean, a 4-month contract for, you know, a league overseas is just not what he has in mind for him and his future. I can't see him taking it.
I don't believe he will take it. I do believe that if he doesn't take it, then that'll probably be the smartest move for him. Because once you get overseas, it's hard to get back. And he is a good quarterback, great college athlete. He knows how to win. That's his nature. But, you know, we'll see what happens. I think eventually he'll find another job somewhere.
Could be possible. Alright, well, I think that's going to do it for this week on the Huddle. If you could, follow us on Twitter at the Huddle Talk. And that's going to do it for the Huddle.
This has been the Huddle with Ethan
and Jordan.
Till next time, sayonara.